Welcome back. April 2020. We are in this coronavirus pandemic. So this is going to be a virtual art exhibition. And it's the 105th anniversary of the Turkish massacre of the Armenians. 1915, over 1.5 million Armenians massacred, and they were deported through the Syrian desert. To honor and commemorate this event, I have put together an exhibition of the genocide, including fine art, posters, political posters collected the last 50 years, and also archival material. This particular large photograph, I personally photographed 1975, April 24 in New York City. It depicts at the time first generation survivor of the massacre, second generation, and the third generation. This was at a political rally in New York City. This particular photo is the Armenian Heritage Park in Rhode Island, and up top is the Armenian Monument, and skulls are planted in the middle of a young child at the North Burial Ground. It's a cemetery, large-scale cemetery. Then we continue on posters, political posters collected from France, Syria, Lebanon, Canada, throughout the United States, all parts of Europe. And then we go here to the signature title of the piece here. And Turkey still denies the massacre of Armenians, if you notice the board down here. And again, we get into the political posters, a scene from the genocide right here. And we go all the way up top. These are all the countries that have admitted or have passed resolutions that the genocide has happened. Many countries still do not accept the genocide, including Israel, unfortunately. And this particular palette here, I built about 5 years ago on the 100th anniversary. So this is supposed to be 105th anniversary, so symbolically I left it. This is 2020. And then we have another political poster down here. Continuing on the rest of the exhibition. Again, posters that were printed and used as propaganda materials, and various clippings. This is from the Հոհիթա, Armenian Revolutionary Federation, Lipanani Երդասարտական Միություն, Lebanon Young Youth Organization of the ARF. And this is another poster printed in Lebanon many years ago. Հոհիթա Պատենական Գասմագերբություն. This is the ARF Young Chapter organization of the Youth Federation in Lebanon. Then historic poster right here, wonderful piece, Manuk Hayastan, Child of Armenia. This particular poster with many others were printed from 1915 to 1922 by the Near East Relief Fund, organizations that put out and collected millions of dollars for the orphans and the deported people of the genocide. Finally, down here is a very established artist, our best-selling artist and traveled artist by the name of Kevork Murad. This particular scene depicts children and mothers walking through the Deir el-Zor desert. Panning all the way to the right, we see more up top political posters, Fedais, freedom fighters. Down here, we talk about, the massacred heads cut off during the massacres of 1890s to 1918. And the first application actually was the organized crime of genocide of the Turkish Ottoman Empire. Was they arrested all the political leaders. and they arrested all the religious leaders. And they also arrested and killed all our leaders from the communities and churches. Panning to the right, a poster printed in Paris, actually, in the 70s. Another printed poster about 20 years ago showing Kurds and scholars digging into the Deir el-Zor desert, and finally very, very precious poster over here in the bottom of our First World War era President Wilson, depicting historic Armenia. And this was published in Lebanon, and this is Arabic and in English. But then panning to the right, we have my dear friend Larry Sykes, who's almost 90 years old, my scholar friend, my mentor of 35 years, depicting his work. And then below we have Carol Scavaro, an artist from Rhode Island, depicting of the game that they used to play where they used to dagger pregnant women. And it's a very, very sad story. It's a very sad poem, if I may. Over here we have monuments throughout the world. There's memorial monuments dedicated to the Armenian genocide, from Argentina to Uruguay, to Lebanon, to Greece, to Cyprus, to Paris, to Boston, Chicago, Rhode Island, and various monuments that are dedicated for the poster of the genocide. And we're going to step back a little bit. I want to show you incredible collection of front page magazine covers from the turn of the century. So this is the entire world. These are French, Arabic, all different countries depicting. These are all tear sheets from front page stories of 1915, 16, 17, and they're published 1918, all around from the world. This particular one is from 1909. It's called the Graphic right here, 1909. And these are very important political posters. These are all actually not political posters, they're actual publications. And the Armenian Genocide front page coverage in the world press. And this was provided from the Armenian Genocide Museum in Yerevan, Armenia, many years back. Artist from New Jersey, originally from Boston, Lucien Kasparian, very established artist, a caricaturist and political cartoonist, shipped these pieces for the April exhibit back in February of this year. This is 2020, and this is a wonderful, wonderful piece of covered tracks by Turkey. These are all the historic Armenian lands and various villages and towns that they took over, changed their names into Turkish names. And finally, Erdogan, and again, very political statement here, and the ceasefire in Syria, again, very caricaturistic pieces. And Lucien Kasparian, I'm very proud of her work. Finally, we have a wall here that talks about genocide quotes, and it talks about world owing justice to the Armenians. This is a poster that was done in 1970. It was in the 60th anniversary. Another beautiful poster was published in France. Right to the left here we have another poster published in Lebanon in the 70s. On the April 24th, it says April 24, and Hohita, Hay Hohaplagan Tashnaktuchun, which is the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, and a very political poster here published in the mid-70s, also in Lebanon, in south of Lebanon. And then some Armenian fedais, Armenian freedom fighters, not terrorists. These are Armenian freedom fighters protecting our people, our churches. This particular one here is also a local artist by the name of Taylor Manter, depicting her piece, beautiful piece, the red, blue, and orange, the Armenian flag, the red for the blood of the people, the energy, the blue for the freedom, and also the orange, the ground, the soil. And where a dear friend of mine from New Jersey, Narek Haruchunyan poster. Sculpture I actually created. Again, red, blue, orange. This is tooth rock, which is organic volcanic rock, and the pomegranates, very symbolic. And it depicts the Armenian tricolors poured in cement. Eventually it's going to go outside in the yard. And then we have another version that's coming up for the May exhibit in 2020. Also going to be a virtual exhibit.